Hello viewers, the United Nations General Assembly has proclaimed years 2021 to 2030 as the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. This declaration was a result of a proposal and resolution for action by over 70 countries from all latitudes. The theme for World Environment Day 2021 was Ecosystem Restoration, when the UN launched this decade on ecosystem restoration. The series of talks on ecosystem restoration, which we bring to you, has been made with an aim to create awareness about environmental degradation and invite people's participation on ecosystem restoration. In the first part of this talk, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Savitribai Phule Pune University, Professor Nitin Karmarkar, will introduce us to the basic definitions, concepts and terminologies involved in ecosystem restoration.
Dear friends and students, what is the ecological restoration, or in other words, what is restoration ecology? But prior that, we must understand couple of things about this particular planet on which we are living, the planet Earth. In the entire solar system, perhaps this is the only planet which is a living planet, which is very dynamic, and in that we actually categorize this particular planet into 4 different spheres. The one on which we stay is the lithosphere, which is the uppermost part of the earth, that is called crust, and beneath basically is called the mantle. Together it makes what is called a lithosphere. Through this lithosphere, in fact, there is generation what is the second sphere, that is called as a hydrosphere. Then vertically upward when we go, we have atmosphere, and since atmosphere is there, since there is oxygen, and therefore we all are living. And then the fourth sphere, the seamless interaction among the various 3 spheres, that is lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere, has given birth to what is called as the biosphere. So there is a seamless interaction and equilibrium, you can call it, among these 4 different spheres. And if that equilibrium get disturbed, obviously there is a degradation of what is called as the ecology or the ecosystem in which we all are living. The living species, the human being, the plant species, the animal species, everything. So there is a kind of a seamless interaction that is happening among us also. So anything, if one sphere get disturbed, obviously the adverse impact we would have it on the ecological aspect. So in today's lecture, we are going to look at what are the different methods of restoring this ecology, or how do we carry out the ecological restoration. So first of all, let me get into the theory part of it, the definition. What exactly are we trying to do in our ecological restorations? The simple definition given by the Society for Ecological Restoration Science and Policy Working Group in 2002, ecological restoration is the process of assisting the recovery of an ecosystem that has been degraded, damaged or destroyed. Underline these 3 words: degraded, damaged or destroyed. And this degradation or damaging or destruction can happen by variety of processes. There could be some natural processes, but majority of them are the human interventions that have carried out basically a disequilibrium among these 4 different spheres, that to an extent is actually been responsible for degrading or damaging or sometimes completely destroying the ecosystem. Let me tell you something about this planet Earth. This planet Earth, we all know, is 4.5 billion years old. And during the entire sort of evolution of this particular planet, there are a variety of things that have happened. I am not going to get into the ancient part of it. Let's speak about our own region, the state of Maharashtra. You all are aware, and whenever you travel, you actually get to see a similar kind of a rock which is black in color and which to an extent actually seem to be deposited in the form of layer after layer. For example, many of you must have traveled to Mahabaleshwar, and when you go to the Arthur Seat Point, and from there if you look beyond, you would find that a sort of a vertical section in which you have all these different layers which are nothing else but the lava layers, which to an extent been consolidated, and they are resting one over the other, creating sort of a, I would say, a ladder kind of thing. This entire volcanic eruption, which dates back 65 million years before time, and this covers a very vast area, not necessarily only in the state of Maharashtra, part of Karnataka, part of Gujarat, part of Andhra Pradesh, covering the present distribution is of the order of 500,000 square kilometer area is been covered by this particular volcanic activity as such. Do you know what was the effect of this volcanic eruption? First of all, it was a very fast activity. The entire duration of this particular sort of a activity was less than 1 million year, and in geological time scale 1 million year is something like a minute. So, within which basically tons of lava was erupted onto this planet Earth, and that to an extent gave a severe blow to the ecological stability of the entire planet, not necessarily only the Indian subcontinent, but the effects were seen globally as such. And wherein you all know this particular time span, 65 million years time span, is at the border of Jurassic and Cretaceous. And when we speak about Jurassic, we all are aware the Jurassics are meant for basically dinosaurs, the gigantic animals which ruled this planet Earth. They got completely eradicated, completely sort of got destroyed because of this volcanic eruption. What do you mean by that? When volcanic eruption takes place, it is just not the lava, but some amount of poisonous gases that get ejected into the atmosphere. Then the volcanic ash, the debris that gets into the atmosphere temporarily creates a sort of a, I would call it like a layer, and because of this particular layer, or you can call it a continuous sort of a layer, which to an extent does not allow the solar rays to get onto the planet Earth. So, that caused basically a temporary change in the climate. The hot climate became totally cold, and all this to a great extent caused the destruction of many important species, including the dinosaurs. Why? Because they were gigantic animals, they could not get adapted to this changing scenario that got changed overnight, and that perhaps basically was the reason why there was a mass extinction. So, this is a typical geological phenomenon. Likewise, there can be atmospheric phenomenon, there can be heavy rains sometimes, as we have seen in recent times, especially in the state of Maharashtra. Last year we had the Nisarga cyclone, this year it was Tauktae cyclone. On the eastern part of India again we had a cyclone. So this kind of a basically change in the precipitation pattern also sometimes can cause a temporary destruction or degradation. So there are variety of ways by which basically the entire ecology, although get completely damaged or destroyed, but there are ways and means actually by which you can bring it back to its original position, and that is what is called as the ecological restoration. Let us get into the another definition, restoration ecology, the full or partial replacement of biological populations and or their habitats that have been extinguished or diminished. Ideally, the restoration will return normal ecosystem function to an area, and hopefully the project will also have social or economic value to humans. This is what is the most important thing. So, in the next coming 10 years, we need to actually look at how do we bring back the degraded ecosystem to its normalcy. So, now we are going to look at the various types of disturbances which bring about basically the degradation or destruction of the ecosystem. Cessation of prescribed burning, cultivation and cropping, disturbance, excavation or burial of substrate, eutrophication, hydrological disruption, that is what I mentioned about the Tauke or the Nisarga cyclone that we had in the last and this year, invasion by non-native species, logging of trees, overgrazing, removal of carnivorous or herbivorous, soil contamination. So, these are the ways or these are the reasons by which the ecology to a great extent get degraded or disturbed or sometimes completely get destroyed. And what are the restoration actions? What are the processes, methods by which we can bring about normalcy? Cessation of degrading action only, that is the passive restoration. So, what are the restoration actions? That is the processes or methods by which we can bring back the degraded system back to its original position. The methods could be cessation of degrading action only. These are what are called as a passive restoration. Extirpation of damaging species, including non-native, nutrient removal, planting of forbs or grasses, planting of trees, reinstatement of burning, reintroduction of herbivores or carnivores, remodeling of topography, what is called as the soil amendments. So, now we are actually going to look at the various different examples by which how we have been able, which to an extent what we call them as a case studies. I am going to actually put forth some case studies through which we will be able to understand how basically we could bring back a degraded kind of a system back to its original or to its not original or natural form. So, restoring ecosystem can also be seen as directly benefiting people. This particular diagram in fact to a great extent explains about what are the different vertical that one has to look at while restoring a particular ecosystem. So, which include water infiltration, groundwater recharge, primary production, biodiversity, nutrient part, so many of them, contaminant removal and so on and so forth. So, these are basically the various different verticals or elements which to a great extent sometimes get disturbed. So, we have to work on these various different vertical to bring it back to its normalcy, which to an extent is been done by treating the dirty water or what we call as a contaminated water or contaminated soil, giving clean water, natural areas for reaction and so on and so forth, or flood control measures by which we will not allow the excess water to get onto the land or in an ecosystem. And these are what is called as ecosystem services, and by which we actually restore our natural resources, which include soil, which include water, which include air. I was mentioning about the mass extinctions. How do we actually account for the various different mass extinctions? How do the species get extinct? So, the known causes of animal extinction since 1600, hunting to a great extent, that is about 23% contribute to the extinction of many species. Species introductions, what do you mean by that? A native species and a foreign species is brought in over there, which does not allow the native species basically to grow, and sometimes this ecological imbalance cause a complete extinction of the native species. So, 39% of new species introduction is been responsible for species getting extinct. Habitat destruction, 36%, and that can be by natural ways, but majority of them basically because of the human intervention. So, we will actually look at all those examples, and very meager percent wherein we causes are not known, we attribute it to other causes as such. This is a beautiful book in fact on restoration ecology, and look at the title, it's so wonderful, Earth Repair. As we do it when our house gets collapsed, we carry out a renovation so as to basically bring in it to its natural beauty. Same way the earth repair can happen, and this is a transatlantic history of environmental restoration. This is written by Marcus Hall, and where you would find plenty of such good examples where people have adopted different ways and means by which they could bring in the degraded system to its original.
In this video, we were introduced to the importance of harmonious coexistence of the four spheres that make up the ecosystem, and the different natural and man-made causes that disturb their balance. In the next video, we shall see some case studies to elucidate these concepts.